What up, what up, what up? Happy Tuesday. Man. It's like a switch. What? It's like a switch. You gotta switch it on. Oh, man. All right, guys. What is going on? I am Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I am joined by my lovely wife,
the rumbly tumbly Lauren.
What?
I got the rumblies in my tumbly.
Okay, that's disgusting.
Well, no, it's not like that. It's just, I don't know. I woke up today and yeah, my stomach's just not feeling too great. And I'm really tired. I don't know if this 2.5 months of stress has finally gotten to me. I mean, we got Chili's and a local like allergen-free bakery stuff yesterday, and I don't know if that got to me, which is weird because we've had it in the past a lot, but yeah, just not feeling it today. Mm-hmm. Just, Did you not want me to talk about it?
I'm just here. Do what you want.
So yeah, that's where I am today. How about you? Where are you today?
I'm great. Happy that it's a 3-day weekend and I can just
That
chill.
sounds nice. I don't know what a 3-day
chores
weekend
are done.
is.
Well, gotta empty the dishwasher, but chores are for the most part done, and I just want some nice and quiet time. And I'm gonna, at this point, this is random. I'm gonna start counting how many times our neighbor has to mow his lawn, because literally I feel like it's the 3rd time this week.
It's like every other day.
Like, what is happening?
Yep.
He's like, oh my god, I got it an inch taller. I gotta cut it.
Yep. Yep. They say there's actually like a scientific thing behind that like the reason like guys specifically, I guess, like really, enjoy cutting the grass a little more.
You won't find it when we get our next place. That is not happening. I do not.
I guess there's some like, I don't know, some chemical when you're cutting it. I don't know. I forget what it was, but
I do not.
Yeah, because like we used to, when I was growing up, we used to live next to our neighbor who also was like super into it.
Not for me.
And I'm like, okay.
So we got a lot to talk about, a lot of news happening, so I'm happy for that.
We're getting back in the swing of things.
We're gonna start from the tippity here. So H3H3 came out with a video. It's so
sounds
common
like a
for
virus.
These. Okay, well, they're a popular YouTube channel that you do not know.
I know, it just reminds me of H1N1.
Okay, that's great. Well, back off. I think they were first.
Oh, really? Oh, then they were on a long time.
H1N1, just like...
I thought that was in like, what, 2014 or something?
Yeah, I feel like they've been on YouTube for a while now.
Alrighty.
But yeah, they made like a 46-minute video, essentially what they're calling a content nuke on Keemstar. And I feel like it's rightfully so. Man. Because I feel like there's a certain community that like doesn't like H3H3 because of the content that Ethan makes on it, which I get. And there's also people that don't like Keemstar because of the stuff he makes. Now, I'll say one thing. I'm not sure if you want to say I'm biased or anything, because I don't think so. I'm not really a fan of either one, but I'm definitely 100% not a fan of Keemstar. Like, was never a fan.
I've heard of him. I haven't heard of the other people. I don't really have much experience with either. I never watched Keemstar.
I mean, you don't have to.
But I know of him.
Yeah, essentially he's like the TMZ of YouTube in a sense.
Well, yeah, that's what I've heard.
And it's just like so much like BS and stuff.
Heard good stuff.
And like in the video that H3H3 put out, oh man, they tied him to a lot of things, and I'm just like, it's touchy. So there was a guy named Etika that passed away last year, I believe October-ish comes to mind. And they're kind of like, not saying that he killed him, but they kind of, further kind of pushed Etika because he wasn't in the greatest mental space. And he was like a popular YouTuber. I think he focused around like Nintendo gaming, something around that, like that niche. And yeah, he wasn't in the right space, and yeah. They play some audio, and it's just like Etika was like really going in on Keemstar, like how he messes with people, and just like it feels bad. Like at the end of the day, I really feel like Keemstar is what you see as a toxic man. Like, he has a toxic masculinity because he sits there and he attacks mental health, and he's like, people just use it for clickbait and this and that and all this. And I'm like, this guy's like so narcissistic. Like, this guy's just, he's so, And like, FouseyTube, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so FouseyTube, about like a year or two ago, he was going through his whole like mental breakdown and stuff like that. And like, it was like, I think a live event that FouseyTube was at, and it's a popular video. If I can't pull it up here, but essentially, Keemstar was in the audience in this crowd, and FouseyTube looks right at him. And he's like, you were the reason why I almost killed myself. And like, as he's like saying this, watching that clip play back, I just got chills, and I'm like, ugh. Dog, when everyone keeps saying that like you're bad, like, when are you gonna be like, you should stop?
People like that don't see it.
Well, pretty much
they don't see it in themselves,
and like,
that's the problem.
You caught me on like a little bit when I was watching like this older guy that he accused of being a pedophile. Literally an old man that just does his own thing, like 60 years old, just goes on, plays RuneScape and all that stuff.
No, I said, because I was like doing my own thing, and then I heard how he mentioned RuneScape. He's in like this red outfit with like the little red crown, like what I remember the party crowns as. And I even said, I was like, oh, he looks like a RuneScape character.
But like,
so
it's so toxic, so toxic. Like, and he said some things about black people that I'm not really a violent person, but I swear, if that was in front of me,
calm it down there. Careful what you say.
I give hugs.
Very comforting, tight.
Because he was like, black people are second-class citizens. There we go. Saying things like how black women are ugly. I'm trying to think of some other things. Like, just going in, and it was funny because one of these popular streamers I watch, if you guys are familiar, his name is the Black Hokage. He's dope. I dig him because I feel like we think the same in a way. And like, he was saying how, oh man, let me see if I can like, how in like the gaming space, a lot of these kids, because a lot of them are, not to direct this to you, or like white kids, and like it's all cool to say the N-word in that space and like all that, and it's just like,
why are you directing that to me?
I said not trying to.
I don't say the N-word.
No, I'm saying that like, well, white, because you have that in common. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. But like, because that sounds wrong.
Because how H3H3 kind of like, attacked Keemstar and went after his sponsor, like G Fuel, and he was essentially saying that people were worried that, oh, this whole like thing with H3H3 and Keemstar could start becoming a thing where people start going after people's sponsors whenever these issues come up. And it's like, the person I was watching, the Black Hokage, he made a point where it's like, I think you guys are afraid because of how your character is. So it's like, if you're sitting there saying some shady stuff, you don't want that stuff to come to light also. Because it's like, why are you sitting there freaking out if you're all cool? Like, he gave an example how he used to say faggot back in the like early days because it's normal. It's normalized back then. It's kind of like this Kevin Hart thing, like, 10 years ago in his tweet, like it was like a normal thing to say. What?
I mean, you just came right out and said it.
I'm not directing it to anyone. I'm just telling you what the freaking word is. Damn.
Yeah.
But he made that thing, and it's like, he realized that, like, oh man, like, he doesn't mean it. He doesn't say it to like offend a certain like person. It's just what you say to like another person.
Does anyone remember that commercial from like, I feel like it was probably 2005 or something? Okay, we were young, with Hillary Duff, and it was like, and like these two girls were in a store, and they said something like, "That's so gay," and like her whole stance was like, I don't know. She's like, I wouldn't say that's so Jennifer, like whatever the girl's name was.
I feel like I remember this.
And it was like this big thing, and like it was like, oh, stop saying that. It's not cool, like stuff like that. So yeah, there was a time when like I feel like that was a big thing when we were young. Like a lot of kids were always saying like something was gay, and that was like the thing. And then there was the R word as well thrown around, which is like terrible. I mean, so yeah, there's all these derogatory remarks basically.
But I say that because he learns. Like, oh man, someone in his audience is trans, or he has like 8 followers, stuff like that. And he's not saying that to like offend anyone. So he's like, okay, let me stop saying that because I don't want to offend and someone that supports you. But here you go, like these content creators or these streamers or whatever, like they're still sitting here, or these TikTokers even, they're still sitting here making like saying N-words and stuff like that. And it's like
new wave.
And it's always, I feel like, these people that probably don't have any black friends in their life, and if they do, it's probably one, and they don't speak up or say anything. I really feel like that, like 100%.
Well, no, I could understand that because again, like I came from a very white town, so I feel like you're kind of in a bubble. Yeah, and so then I think it's easier for the peer pressure to take over in that way when you're in that bubble and you don't actually know anybody that you're affecting by saying that. It's kind of like that. Well, although, I mean, the internet, of course, takes it to a whole other level because now you're just dumb if you don't think people are going to see it.
Well, that's so here's my local PSA because I'm no big poppin' person. Dog, if you say something racist, if you're not a content creator and you're a regular person, best believe that at this, current time and age and everything, if you're in high school or college or whatever, best believe that these people are going to find out what you do, where you go, whatever. And dog, you may not be able to go to that college. You may not be accepted to that high school, whatever the case is for you. You may have an issue trying to find a job coming out of college, whatever it is. Yeah. Stop it. Stop with that racist stuff. It's like so commonplace, and I'm like, why? Like, you can literally go online and talk to someone in China, or talk to someone in Thailand, or talk to someone in Europe, or whatever. Like, it's like we shouldn't. I don't understand. Now that you're not in your box of like, the state you're in, and you only see white people, or you only see like Asian people, or you only see black people. Now you're in a box where you can see everyone. I don't get why that's even a thing.
But I know, and it goes with the whole mentality because a lot of times if it is teenagers doing it, you have to remember teenagers have the mentality of being invincible. Like that's exactly why they go 100 around a curve and think that they won't spin out, and like all this different stuff. Like there is that kind of feeling like it won't happen to you. Yeah. So it doesn't surprise me that they still go and do this stuff, not thinking about the college applications and the future jobs and stuff. Because, I mean, let's face it, maybe all of us as teenagers weren't racist, but we were dumb, and we had our moments of like, of thinking, oh, that won't happen to me. So, yeah, like it's the same with like teenage pregnancies and like all of that. It's just, oh, that's not me though. Like it's, so I don't know. So I think what's hard is when teenagers are growing up online. I mean, I get that because I did that in a way too. But it's almost like you can't, just kind of like celebrities. You can't do the dumb stuff without everyone critiquing it and seeing it. I mean, I definitely don't think racism's okay. But just in general, I feel like it's harder. Every year gets harder with all this social media stuff. For teenagers kind of recording everything.
I don't know about that. I can't really speak for much because in our age, like it's not as heavy as it was back then, which is crazy to say. 10 years ago or something like that? You mean it's
heavier than it was back then?
What? Sure. I don't know. Whatever
you mean,
way
like
you want.
Social media is heavier,
sure,
right?
More prevalent, whatever word makes that there's an increase compared to now versus 10 years ago. But at the same time, like, I feel like if I was coming up in this day and age, I'd still act how I did back then, where it's like...
Well, right, that's why I'm saying there's not really a justification for that part. I'm just saying in general, I don't know. It doesn't surprise me that they do stupid things.
I don't know. If our kid ever does it, I'm kicking them.
Alrighty.
But to tie it back to this Keemstar and H3H3 thing, at the end of it, I'm kind of glad that someone decided to like stand up to Keemstar because he is toxic. He likes to not say like he likes to attack people for their mental health, and that's not right. But this guy has mental health issues, and it's
I was
like
gonna say, trust me,
it's wild to me
because he's going through it.
I'm not sure if he has a wife or anything, because that's part I didn't really care to research or
That would be very
didn't
interesting.
care. But like, it's ridiculous. Like here's another story. If you guys didn't watch the video or whatever, I know you didn't watch it. So do you know what swatting is?
No.
Okay, so I'll tell you what they showed in the video because I know what swatting is, but I'll give you specifically what was in the video that H3H3 had. So essentially, swatting is when you put someone's information up and someone goes and someone goes to call the police and say, hey, there's someone has a hostage here, or I heard gunshots like over at this address and it looks like they have people, some crazy thing. They call the police and the police go there and like they're like strapped up,
which is like
ready.
your address.
Yeah, they go to your address.
Oh my god.
Swatting. So
a SWAT team. I get it now.
Well, yeah, if you're calling it something serious.
No, I get it now. I don't think
it's literally the SWAT team comes. It depends on the situation, but you're gonna have a lot of police come essentially.
Jeez. What the heck?
So,
that's terrible for nothing.
So I believe
you could be cooking. Excuse me. You could be cooking dinner.
Okay, cool.
And just not doing anything, and they pound through your door. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's what happens. Back to the story.
I got so shook up, I choked.
So last year, I think it was either last year or 2018, where Keemstar put out this guy's address. I don't know who he is off the top of my head. And then of course, if you're gonna put out his address and all that stuff, one of his little followers are gonna go and call up the police in that area or whatever and say, hey, something is happening here and all that stuff. And then the police show up. And I think, well, you're not big on the news with this, but this was like a big news piece. And this guy got arrested. But essentially, the police showed up at the place. The guy opened the door, and I feel like he had something in his hands or something like that. And essentially, the police shot and killed him. And it was a dad, and he had like 2 daughters and
oh my
wife and all that stuff. And yeah, and so it was crazy because it was like a guy in Kentucky, and then the person that called in this was someone in California. So they're like, how did someone from 3,000 miles away call us this?
Well, I was gonna say, can't they track this and does the person get in trouble?
Exactly. That's why swatting's illegal. No, they're gonna find you.
That's dumb, though. Why would you do that then?
People are stupid. But yeah, like that. And then Keemstar went and then took that same guy that made that call, like the next day, had him on his show, and essentially had this kid, like, this kid was like openly confessing in a way. And he was like, the kid was pretty much saying he doesn't feel like he was at fault because there's so many different ways that this could have turned out. Like, he just made the call. Like, anything could have happened. If you didn't make
the call, the police wouldn't have showed up for no reason.
Stupid. But yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's plus, like, not for nothing, when people do stuff like this, you're also taking valuable resources of the police to waste their time doing this when they could be actually saving something else or someone in some actual situation.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many things wrong with this. Mm-hmm. Because if you have to take a whole team, I mean, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that's
stupid. That's really, oh my gosh.
It's disgusting.
What is like the penalty for that?
I mean, you go to jail for however long. I don't know. I don't know. They may pin you with murder. Like,
right,
you have to Google it.
Wow, could you imagine?
There's something on it, I know, but like I don't know off the top of my head.
Can you imagine you did this like as a minor, but then it just like, it follows you into adulthood and you're just screwed because you didn't think someone would die, but then they died.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. At the end of it, it's just like it's nasty. That's all I gotta say. I'm just watching to see how this plays out. I'm not on anyone's side. I'm just sitting here with the popcorn, just watching what happens. But at the end of the day, I do not mess with Keemstar 100%. I didn't mess with Keemstar before this. I don't mess with him after this, even more so. Yeah, I'm good. It was funny. Another thing to mention in this, as FouseyTube was going through his whole like mental breakdown and everything, do you know who FaZe Banks is?
I don't know.
Okay. Another popular YouTuber. Like, Ethan showed a clip, H3H3 showed a clip where, like, essentially, like, FaZe Banks is saying, like, telling Keemstar, like, you shouldn't keep going at FouseyTube. Like, he's literally going through things, and he's, like, he's trying to get to him, and, like,
that doesn't matter.
Keemstar does not care.
That doesn't matter. Those kind of people don't. They're going to do whatever the heck they want to do.
Yeah.
They don't see fault in their own actions.
But
so
it's nasty.
That doesn't surprise me.
It's nasty stuff.
Why is YouTube not intervening in some of this stuff?
What's there to do?
Well, didn't you just tell me that even the swatting thing is illegal?
Okay, what is YouTube? It wasn't even. I don't even think it was on their platform.
You said he brought the kid on who did it.
Okay.
So they're talking about it.
Yeah,
they're
but this was like a year. This was probably 2 years ago.
I know, but I'm just saying. I feel like.
Like,
that's what I hate about these platforms sometimes. Like, people get away with stuff they shouldn't. Like, there's freedom of speech, but then there's, danger and...
nothing to do. That kid really just confessed to him doing it. I mean...
But it sounds like this guy is, like, promoting it.
Pretty much, but what are you going to do?
Well, that's a problem.
Pretty
it's
much.
illegal.
I would feel like YouTube should probably look into it and have a channel removed, but I doubt that's going to ever happen.
No, because at the end of the day, they're making too much money off him. Because I'm sure he's huge.
I don't really think that matters. I don't think YouTube cares that much. Off one person? Come on now. That's not. There's always going to be another person like Keemstar that's you're gonna make money off of. There's a bunch of YouTubers.
I'm just saying.
Like, he's that's more of a liability for someone like that. Like, what ad company is gonna tie themselves to that? So I feel like it would be in YouTube's best interest to remove him, but that's a whole different thing. All right. On to some other toxic news.
Oh, great.
We're going to talk about Joey
I'm going to have to take a shower after
Biden.
this podcast.
You better. Man, so Joe Biden had this, little interview with Charlamagne, 18 minutes and change, or 17, or something like that. And it was a BS interview, really.
I'm sure you can only ask so many questions, and, like, it's kind of... Yeah, it's controlled.
He had something. He had an answer for everything, and it's just like he was very like aggressive. He's like, "Hey man, check my record on it." I'm like, he just felt very aggressive and just like, you have answers for everything. What's the point? But at the end of it, I think you saw this was like he was like, "Vote for me. If you don't, then you're not black. If you vote for Trump."
Oh, I have to tell you something about that.
He apologized for that later that day. I was talking to my mom about this, and he was like, she feels like he said it jokingly. And I agree. I feel like he was saying it in a joking manner. But still, buddy, that's something that you just gotta... That's something you say when you're not recording. You just say it to Charlamagne and be like, hey, vote for me. If you don't, then you're not... And, you have like a little chuckle, and then it just stays there. But it just... Joe... It sucks, because you're stuck between two people that really shouldn't be president. Because Trump... He just handles things wrong, and Joe Biden he's not.
Okay, but we're gonna try and not get overly political.
He doesn't seem like he's all there. I'm just giving my thoughts on it. You can do.
They're just they're weird human beings. Let's put it that way.
And like, I just, man, oh man.
So I saw something. I don't know if you saw it. On Trump's official website.
They're using it against him.
Yes. They used
I heard about that.
As merch.
Yeah.
As actual merch. And it had like hashtag what? Like you're not black or something like that on a t-shirt. I was like, wow.
Using it against somebody.
First of all, that was really fast, of course. Second of all, what? That's a weird move, I guess, to me, to make merch about it. I would see I would totally see he's, of course, going to say something in some rally or some speech and allude to it because that's what he does. But, like, merch?
He's going to spin it.
When
rallies come back, Trump's going to spin that.
It's so weird.
I had to take a sip of this water.
Me too. Apparently,
But
I don't know.
you know what I didn't like?
Whew.
I was reading through the comments in Charlamagne's video, and someone was like, "Oh, Stephen Colbert got an hour with him, and Charlamagne only got like 18 minutes." And I went over just to confirm, and yeah, he had a whole hour with Stephen Colbert, eating ice cream, like all that stuff.
I mean, hold on though.
No,
but different platforms.
No,
you're comparing Colbert to Charlamagne. Colbert's like an actual like TV program, isn't it?
That's great.
So that's probably why.
Again,
there's probably like stipulations or something.
Because he wants all the white people that follow Stephen Colbert.
Well, okay, sure, but I'm saying also, what, you don't think that would be true?
But that's not how it should be handled. Everyone should be equal. At least give Charlamagne, give him 30 minutes. He gave him like a little bit of time because like he had to be rushed off because his wife had to like get on or something.
The unfortunate reality though is, I think even in this day and age still, TV programs are going to still be seen as the most serious. Like podcasts, YouTube,
Dog, he's not on TV.
Like all that stuff is not going to be seen as serious. What do you mean? Stephen Colbert's on TV.
Well, I don't know if that interview is on TV, but I don't think they're putting a whole hour on TV of that.
Isn't that what his show was?
We don't have TV, so I'm not sure.
I know, but I'm saying
it's on YouTube
like an
for an
hour-long
hour.
show?
Yeah, but an hour-long interview with Joe Biden, I don't think that's going to go on the show.
I don't know. I'm just saying, I feel like all the other forms of media still aren't taken as seriously as like a cable TV program. So that's why I guess it doesn't surprise me.
All I know is when he goes to the Breakfast Club, whenever that happens, dog, I want at least an hour.
Oh, so this was an interview just with Charlamagne, not on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah, I mean, because he...
Why did he do it separate?
Because he's the one with the real questions. MV and Angela probably don't have...
Yeah, but why didn't they use the platform of the Breakfast Club to do it? Isn't that a bigger platform?
What's the point? I mean, to be fair, Charlamagne probably makes up a good portion of that show. If he goes, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I know that. But still, it's the name and everything. I feel like...
Not really.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it blew up, as you can see, so not like it matters. Like,
right.
That it was just on his platform, and it blew up on his YouTube.
I don't know.
But yeah, it's man.
That's weird.
I just can't, and it's so cringy, and he keeps riding on Obama's coattails, and I'm just like,
I know. And see, I knew that was gonna happen the entire time. I kept calling it. I'm like, it's not gonna end. He kept doing it during all the debates and everything, and it's like, you have to have worth on your own now, buddy. Like, it doesn't matter at this point.
Talk about what you're doing.
Like, in the beginning, sure, you can boast your experience as vice president, but when you're continuing on and you're trying to fight for your spot and you're trying to prove to people why you could be president, not vice president, then, like, you need to have actual, like, meat and potatoes. Like, what is you being vice president for Obama gonna do? You're not gonna do all the same things that he did. Like you would be your own president. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, what? Answer questions. But it also doesn't surprise me when any politician runs around a subject. That's what they do.
Yeah. Fun stuff. Fun.
But yeah, I feel like it's especially cringy this year.
Yeah.
I feel like we have people who just don't know how to talk. That's the thing.
Might as well have Elon Musk there. I think, but yeah. Let me stop. I love
the
Tesla.
window wasn't supposed to crack.
Shut up. Shut up.
Didn't he say he was like, he wasn't supposed to throw it beforehand or something? What did he say? So he explained what happened there.
He explains that the sledgehammer essentially caused a crack at the bottom.
See,
which then...
he shouldn't have done that. Yeah, he messed it up.
All right. So on to some positive news for all of us.
Oh, good. I won't have to shower as long.
Oh, God. For all of us
I feel like all this toxicity, I gotta, like, rinse off.
So I'm going to say this because I feel like you're not up on the news, my G.
Okay. I don't see the same stuff you do. No. We look at different stuff as far as news.
Ew. That's disgusting. I gotta take a shower now.
Good.
So did you hear about the Joe Rogan deal?
Yes, I saw the clip that you played the other day.
Oh, so that's it? That's all you know about it?
That's all I know about it, is that he's going on Spotify.
So, for those that don't know, which I'm surprised you don't know by now, but...
in September.
Yeah, come September, Joe Rogan will be exclusively on Spotify. And pretty much you can find all his 3-hour long episodes with the people that he always does on Spotify also. Audio going there. I guess his clips will still be on YouTube, which I like because I mainly look at the clips.
Oh, I thought he was taking everything off eventually.
But the clips are smart because the clips are like little tastes to get you
right,
to
but I thought he was taking those off. I thought he wouldn't be able to.
I don't believe so. But like, yeah. And I guess how's this sampling? He's going exclusive on September, and then I believe beginning of the year.
That's when he doesn't put them on YouTube.
Yeah, it's when he'll be like fully on Spotify. And this is a big deal because Joe. I was gonna say Joe Biden. God damn,
I knew that's what you were gonna trip up on.
Joe Rogan has been doing podcasts for the longest, and when I saw this, I'm like, this is major because Spotify's making a play that like, and they've been doing this for a while now. When they bought Anchor, they bought Gimlet, like they bought these different podcast platforms to have a hold on it, and now like they're finally like saying we're gonna poach this person because he's the biggest.
He's making bank.
Well, he made
from this deal.
Supposedly, he made like $30 million a month. Something like that. I believe.
Wait, on his own, not even with Spotify.
Yeah, on his own, I believe.
30 million. Wait, no. $30 million a month.
Yeah, let me see if I have anything on this. He was making a lot of money on his own, like combined with that combines his merch, his ads.
I would believe
stuff.
a year. A month seems kind of extra because he'd literally be like a billionaire.
Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this gives me a number on this, but he was making a lot of money. Oh wait, okay, I was wrong. So he made $30 million last year.
Yeah,
so within a year,
I was saying like a year I could believe, but a month is like
so.
But still, oh my gosh, on your own. So it's like, think about how much Spotify had to buy him for.
Well, they paid him $100 million.
Oh my god.
So imagine you getting $100 million a year.
Like, I'd say yes too.
So, and this is a licensed deal. So it's essentially them being like, "Yo, come over here for 3 years, probably." I don't think they announced how long it's going to be, but I assume it's 3 years. Come over for 3 years. We're gonna take your content and put it on our platform exclusively.
Wait a minute. Is the $100 million for 3 years or per year?
No, it's per year.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say right. Because I was gonna say if it was split over the 3 years, then it's basically the same amount he was making. Okay.
Because they hope to get their money back. Because they're hoping that
it grows even more.
Every podcast platform you go, when you look at the top podcasts, like if you were to go on Apple Podcasts right now, you'll see Joe Rogan literally at the top. Like any platform you go to, he's there, and it's crazy. Like, and I who was I listening to? I was listening to someone. I feel like maybe the Brilliant Idiots, Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz podcast, where they were talking about like, in a sense, Joe Rogan's like a new age encyclopedia because he has all these scientists and doctors and different people on that are like giving us information and stuff like that, and it's like you can go to like his episodes and get these hours of content from these like experts, and I'm like, that's a cool way to look at it because
that's what I've seen. A lot of information.
But man, it's major, and I like it, even though I don't see us blowing up or getting $100 million anytime soon. It gives you hope that like, man, if Spotify's taking this seriously, you hope that YouTube and Apple will see the money in this and be like, hey. But that's one reason why I can't. That's one reason why I can't I don't feel like getting off Anchor, because I like how Spotify's handling this. Because if you're serious about podcasting, Anchor's probably the best platform for you to be on. Like, no ad, because we currently don't have an ad going for Anchor.
Right, and I like Anchor because it's an easy way to put your podcast everywhere.
Yeah, it's simple. Man, we've been rocking with Anchor since we started this, and it makes it a breeze. And like how Spotify keeps integrating new things and like being able to track your audience, stuff like that. You can't. It's like you'd be a fool to go from Spotify's platform to like somewhere else if you see that they're supporting Anchor, which is the little guys, which then hopefully will become the big guys, and who knows, that will one day be like, hey, you've been with us for a while, we helped you so much through Anchor and all that stuff. Might as well sign a deal because it's like you're familiar with it.
Right.
It's smart. it's kind of like how Apple gave like little kids the iPod Touch, and it's like, here you go, your little iPod Touch, and by then when you get older, you get an iPhone.
Listen,
I always saw that game.
Listen.
But,
Ooh, I feel bamboozled.
wait, you didn't think about that? I saw that from the beginning. I'm like,
no.
They give you an iPod Touch for these kids.
I just
who you do everything but call.
I thought it was new technology for the iPod. I mean, I get how, yes, it was like an iPhone without the phone capabilities. I get that. But wow, you grow up. Yeah. Oh, I feel bamboozled.
Yeah. If you have an iPod Touch, I could probably track
more
down.
Likely to. Wow.
I could probably track down all my friends that had an iPod versus didn't have an iPod to see if they went to Android with getting their phone or went to an iPhone. And I feel like.
Oh my God! Do you remember that stupid MP3 player? What was it called? It was like in the early days of the iPod. Oh, not Zoom. That's no. It was, what was it? It was a stupid MP3 player, basically. And, like, they were trying to be, like, the knockoff Apple, and I had it, and it was awful, and it was not worth it.
I bet you did.
Like, because I was always curious, like, if they would be, like, on par. They just never were.
Loser.
That's like SpongeBob. Loser.
But, yeah, this is just, it's huge news.
I feel duped.
And what's good about this is with, assuming we use Spotify because I never liked Apple Music, since it, a lot of my things I like to find new music, and Apple is not good at that when it comes to finding new music to listen to.
Yeah, I had like the free Spotify for the longest time because I would just buy like the singles and CDs and stuff that I wanted, and then was it 2017? You and I went on the family plan. Well, yeah, it was after we moved in.
Yeah, I've had Spotify.
So it was after we moved in is when we went on the family plan together, and then that's when I basically slowly started just becoming a huge Spotify person. I never was interested in Apple Music. I feel like, if I had to choose, even on my own, I would have gone with Spotify.
Restrictions, so
I did, yes. So there was that. So yeah, it was definitely when we moved in together, because that's when I went on unlimited data. See, that's also a reason. Yeah, that it wouldn't have made sense to get Spotify. So yeah, and then without the data restrictions, it's just all there. Mm-hmm. The only thing I will say is sometimes with Spotify, because I like to listen to like some throwback songs and stuff too, and it's like sometimes I'll forget like some of the artists I used to listen to all the time because they're not just there. They're not listed. Like if I were to go through what I used to have like on my phone for like the music, and I would see all like the artists and the albums and stuff, and so I would then remember. And so sometimes I feel like I'm missing some artists and some songs I used to always listen to because I just don't remember.
Sounds like a user error.
You know what?
I don't really know what that means. Like I've never
it's
had
not
an issue.
just there. Like if
it could just be a licensing thing where they don't license Spotify. Like,
no, you're not getting it. Like if you go on your music app on your phone, and if you have all the CDs and all the downloads and everything still on there, you can scroll through and see like all the artists you always listen to and everything that you've like have from like forever ago.
Cool.
But on Spotify, you have to search it. Like you have to like know what you're looking for. So that's the only thing I struggle with is sometimes I feel like I'm forgetting. Yes, when I remember, but I don't get how you're not understanding my dilemma.
I don't have this issue because I don't go through old music. I like different because you go with the. I feel like you go with the more nostalgia.
I like a mix.
I don't hit old music until I feel that vibe. But other than that, keep me within the last 5 years of music, and I'm with it.
No, come on, yeah, you're missing out.
The good part of Joe Rogan being on Spotify is that brings more people to like listen, and then hopefully, hey, if you come to us based on a Joe Rogan deal or whatever, and you're like, hey, I really like Paging the Simpsons, they're dope. Yo, shout out to you. Even though I doubt you're gonna hear this episode because this is like way out there.
I'm like, you are very ambitious right now.
Oh man, I doubt it. But yeah, you gotta dream big, right?
That's really big.
But yeah, it's really good news. I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And it's cool that they're putting videos on Spotify, and I wonder if we can start doing that whenever that happens. Because I'm like, hey, we already do it for YouTube. Why not?
Right. That, or do you need a certain amount of subscribers like on other platforms?
Well, they don't do subscribers. They have the followers thing, but I don't think that really... Are people really following people on Spotify? Are you following people? Because if you're not following people...
I follow playlists.
Yeah, I don't follow playlists. I don't like that. I follow artists.
I follow playlists.
Yeah, see, they're probably not going to do that.
Okay.
Because, like, if you're not doing it, and I kind of consider you, like, the average person, I don't think they're doing it.
I know that's not what you mean, because I know you think I'm out of this world, because that's why you married me. You just mean average as far as my user things.
So, on to this other topic.
Excuse me?
What? We're just going on another topic. Exactly. So, we're going to talk about Call Her Daddy podcast. We're going to give an update on this one. Because, boy... it got juicy over this past week. So we were talking about this a little bit.
Yeah.
And essentially, if you go to Call Her Daddy podcast right now, there's like a new episode from the CEO breaking down his side of it. And I'm not sure how detailed we want to get with this, but essentially it sounds like Barstool was very like accommodating to them, like trying to help out, or not help out, but like work with them in any way where it's like, you know, we see you guys are bringing in money. They raised their salary. I believe we said it was like $75,000 last episode. And, you know, they were getting paid at least $500,000 or a little under that as the show grew and they were making more money. Dog, just like Joe Rogan, I wish I was in this position. Like,
money.
Any podcaster would love to be, and I know, I'm sure you can make more doing other deals and, you know, being able to put out books and alcohol and stuff. That stuff could have came after this deal with Barstools, and you could have came with some agreement once the money was, you know, made and contracts were done and all that stuff, and it was time to renegotiate.
Does Joe Rogan do any of that, or does he strictly just do the podcast?
I don't know. He probably does other stuff. I think he does do other stuff. That's how he makes his 30,000
million.
30 million. But it's like, I don't know. It's such a region. And seeing that the fact that Alex and Sophia have an issue and have beef, it's like, imagine if we had beef here, and it's like the show wouldn't, there's no way I could replace you, and vice versa.
Right.
And it's like for them, you can go get another girl or get someone else, but it's like, it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That chemistry takes a while, and then for your audience to get used to, you know, a new person.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I had that issue for a while. So like, what was it? 5-10 years ago. So the country radio station, the local radio station, they had replaced the guy. Yes, the guy. There was like a guy and girl duo for like the morning show, and they replaced the guy. And it took me a long time to like get used to, first of all, the different name, and then also just the different like way that they were. Like nowadays, like, yeah, I like it, I'm used to it, it's all good, but like, yeah, it's kind of like that. It was weird, and I was like, no, it's not the same. Like even the names together, they didn't have the same catchiness. Like it just,
yeah.
I was like, no, I was so sad when he got replaced.
Yeah, and
because I felt like they were iconic.
And I'm sure their their listenership like fell a little. Well, I'm not sure how much, but I'm sure it fell because people were like, I don't know if I want to listen to this right now.
They were iconic.
And then you slowly like you may check in every now and then to listen. And it slowly will grow back over time, but it takes a process. Like if you were to change people out, like if you were to swap me and you out, I feel like it'd take 6 months to a year.
Which doesn't really make sense to begin with us, because the whole premise of Paging the Simpsons is it was both our last names
but for example, together. If you guys are familiar with it, like Joe Biden was on a show called Everyday Struggle and Complex with academics, for those that know him. And then Joe left because Complex was not really trying to pay him for stuff, and it was very stifling as a creative person, so I get it and all that stuff. Academic stayed, and they were shuffling through trying to find people, and like they tried with Star, for those that know Star from Star and Buck Wild. Didn't really like Star because Star was super aggressive and seemed like a know-it-all. And then they went with Wayno, and he was a manager for, I'm drawing a blank. I feel like J. Cole comes to mind. He was a manager for a few other people, and Wayno knows a lot about rap music and just music in general. And I like it. It was a cool combo, but I still don't watch the episodes because I don't get the same like
There's
vibe
nothing
that like
OG.
Yeah, that like Joe and Academics had. Now it's Wayno and Academics, and it's dope. You know, great podcast and everything. I just the passion that Joe had that he brought to it and the knowledge is different than what Wayno brought. Even though he still has that knowledge and everything, he's just not. He doesn't come off as passionate with it.
And this is a really random thought, but. So he's talking about his world of entertainment. We'll talk about my world of entertainment for a minute, of the beauty world on YouTube. It's kind of like, okay, so I'm sure there's some of you who remember like literally 10 years ago or so, Jaclyn Hill, before she was as big as she is now, was like BFFs with Nicole Guerrero, and they lived super close in Florida. I think Nicole still lives in Florida. I'm really confused on Jaclyn's situation. She might be back there. I don't know. But there was like a time when they were adorable and they did collabs on each other's channels, and they were BFFs, and like their energy was just so much fun. And then it was like you just saw like Jaclyn started to take off, and then like Nicole did not match that. And so I don't know what happened there. To be quite honest, I feel like Nicole is like thriving right now, even though she's not like the biggest YouTube channel. She does her own thing. She has her cats, she has her fiance, it's like all adorable. Like honestly, I love watching Nicole over Jaclyn because Nicole feels more real than Jaclyn at this point. And so it's very interesting to see who kind of went to what camp, because they were, for a while, I was obsessed with both of them. And then it kind of started to like go opposite ways. And no one really knows at the end of the day what happened there. They didn't really address it, like nothing, like they just kind of stopped doing stuff and talking about each other and like all that. But yeah, so it's like kind of like that, where it's like, then I mean, now Nicole like and Carly Bible are like BFFs, and like that's a whole thing. But to me, like, it's not the same as what they had together, because I feel like they were both starting at the same point on their YouTube channels, and they were just kind of like having fun and like growing and stuff, and then like it just kind of went separate, because one went this way and then one went this way. So I don't know, that's very interesting.
Yeah,
it is. It's weird when like you put, and not for nothing, I feel like that happens a lot with YouTubers who put like their boyfriends or girlfriends on their channel, and then they break up. You got used to this person for years, and you're all like, woo, and like then there was someone new. It's the same thing where like you got to love that person as the people as a couple, and then now you have to be like, well, I know this isn't my life, so I shouldn't be so affected by it. But
you could say that with like Jesse and Gina, because like they were like the major like YouTube couple, and then like damn, they broke up, and then like you're like, it looks weird with seeing in the early stages Jesse being with like this new girl, and then everyone's kind of like, even though it's been so long, like 5 years now, like everyone's kind of waiting for Gina to like find someone or announce if she's had someone or whatever.
Right. Yep. So
all right,
that's how I can relate to it, because I don't know any of that stuff you were just talking about. So I figure people who are listening, they're gonna know one way or the other. So there you go.
So lastly, I want to get into some relationship topic here, and this one is interesting. So this one is about this girl where her boyfriend's sleep habits are not the same. They're really not compatible with her lifestyle.
Sounds familiar.
And that's what I want to talk about, because I'm sure other people are in similar situations. She has a lot here, so I'm not sure how much I'm trying to go through it, but I'm gonna skim read and we'll go through that. So she is 23 and her boyfriend is 26, and they have been together for just under 5 years, and they lived together for 2 years. Everything was great except when he needs to sleep, when he sleeps in on weekends. They're both active. They do mountain biking, hikers, runners, rock climbing, dog owners. They live.
You go and do that. That is not me.
They live in a busy mountain city, and they hit the trails early to beat the crowds and have an enjoyable experience. They both work 9 to 5s.
Good for them.
So essentially, with this, man, she goes on to say, when my boyfriend wakes up at noon on the weekends, I generally get ready to have a beer and take the dogs out for another adventure. As I have already had a full, productive, active morning, my boyfriend will leave for his workout or run, and by that time, he's back and showered, and it will be about 3 in the afternoon. We hardly spend any time together, and he will not wake up early to explore with me.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then I guess this is becoming more of an issue because of quarantine. The issue was annoying before quarantine, but now that I can't go or see any of my friends or family, this routine is feeling very isolating.
So
you didn't let me finish.
This is primarily weekends, though.
Yeah, that's her issue.
Okay.
Well, they work 9 to 5, so
right.
I mean, yeah.
So it's primarily weekend. Okay.
Damn. She says, she eats dinner and shares a bed with her boyfriend. I mean, I kind of thought it was obvious.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Okay.
She's just being specific.
But all of my weekend time is just me and the dogs. I didn't mind exploring alone with my dogs before entering a relationship, but I wish my boyfriend would want to join at least sometimes.
Right.
Has anyone ever successfully dated someone who just has a completely different sleep schedule? Any advice?
I've done both ways. I've never had the same exact sleep schedule as people I've been with. So I've experienced a lot. The person I was with before would, like, we would both sleep in, but he would, like, sleep in. And so, like, this was, a time when obviously we never lived together, but we would, like, sleep over each other's houses and, like, sometimes for, like, consecutive days at a time. And when we didn't have anywhere to go, we would sleep in, but like by the time, and this was back when I could sleep in later, I feel like my body just did that easier than it does now, even though I'm not like old by any means. It's just changed. Maybe lifestyle, I don't know. But I mean, by 9, I'd just be there and I'd be like, there wouldn't be anything for me to do because like we would sleep in his room and then like his mom would be downstairs or something. Like what was I gonna do? So I'd literally like lay there for hours.
That's annoying.
Like, and just like till 11, 12, like crazy sometimes. So, and then there would be a handful of times that I would literally just wake him up and be like, okay, dude, like this is getting to be too much.
Man, you're a real one, because I'll just be like, I am not coming over anymore because I can't do it. Because I've stayed nights when way back in the early stages, like at your house, and like, dog, I can't. Like it's just I'm sitting there doing nothing.
Right. And that's the thing. So like when he would stay over my house, then I felt more obviously like I had options. Like I could leave the room and I could like whatever, or just wake him up. Like I don't know. So I went on that side for a while, and then but then we would usually always go to bed together. So that at least worked out in my favor. But then with you, we've gone back and forth and tried to figure this out, because basically like you're definitely a night owl, but you're also
both.
I was getting there.
Yeah.
But you're also a morning person. People, this is an especially difficult breed to work with because he's not just one way or the other. It's both. And so that means we don't go to bed together most nights, but we're also not waking up together most days.
I mean, during the week.
Week.
Outside of when we're not going to the gym.
Well, yeah, right now, but even that's been an issue for you because it's like too late in your mind, and yeah. But
well, yeah, because I'm trying to get up and
exactly,
because mornings is such a waste to like sit there in a bed,
which I get. But he's literally put it in perspective, people. He's literally mad about 7:30. It's not late.
Yeah, but I mean, you also put in perspective what we do, but we won't get into that. That's fine.
We snuggly wuggly.
No, that's not what it is. That's a lot more that happens between that time from like 7:30 to 9.
We snuggly wuggly, and we go on a walk with the dog, and then you get ready for work.
Okay. All right.
Anywho's it's. So yeah, now I have someone who we're more different because it has, again, both night owl and morning person put together. I've always been a person, I am somewhere in the middle. I'm not the type of person who wants to stay up till 3 a.m, but I'm also not the type of person, especially anymore, that wants to sleep till like 11 a.m. I always said, I'm like, I feel like my optimal hours, if I just let my body do what it was going to do, are like 11 to 8. Are like, that's a 9-hour window. It allows me time to like fall asleep and whatever. And I feel like that's my optimal window of like, I stayed up a little bit later and like got some stuff done or relaxed or whatever. And then I slept in-ish, where like I'm not wasting the entire morning, but I'm also not getting up at 5 and being like tired. However, I do understand the value of getting up in the morning because before quarantine, all this stuff, and before I was sick with all that in January, like we would go to the gym we wake up at 5 a.m, we'd go to the gym. And then I saw the value of having a longer morning. However, I'd also say I would get sleepy easier and probably want a nap. So like for me, again, those optimal hours are kind of somewhere in the middle. I've never been a huge night owl or a huge morning person. Mm-hmm. So given that, it's tricky. Because you're both. So, so some nights, like, I love the nights that every now and then you do want to go to bed with me. And I think that it's happening more because right now, obviously, I'm not going to bed super early because of quarantine. So it kind of ends up being like if you feel like going to bed at 11:30 or whatever, it works. But yeah, still most nights. So.
Yeah, because mine.
Yeah.
See, okay. I'm not sure who can relate to me on this at all, but I'm someone that likes to get the most out of my time, and like it probably goes to like paranoia of like aging in a sense of like like we'll never get today we're recording on a Sunday, we're never gonna get Sunday May 24th back. It's like how I put it in perspective, like I'm never gonna get back my 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock that I was sleeping at for. So like it's a paranoia of like I really feel like one day if I was to like do what you do and sleep and all that stuff, because I feel like it happened to me as a teenager, which sounds weird to say, I would have a mental breakdown that I'm just like, what's happening? Like where's all my time going? Like I would freak out. So like I feel like I have to like do everything I can to like optimize my time for that day.
See, I get that.
But yeah.
But at the same time,
you know what? Relax. I feel like don't come for me.
I'm the person also, I'm trying to be healthier, and well,
I'm saying do what works for you. It's two different things.
I know.
Yeah.
But I'm saying growing up, I've always been a type A personality. I think over the last few years, I've been getting better with a lot of stuff as far as that and trying to embrace more relaxation or embrace slower times or like whatever. 'Cause before like I wasn't as healthy overall. And I feel like since I've been trying to be on more of a health journey the last few years, I've accepted the fact that I need a certain amount of hours to be optimal, and that sleep is just part of a good routine and good like health and being better at what you do. So like for me, like 8 to 9 hours if I can. That doesn't happen all the time because when life is actually happening. But it's like I just feel more alert, more happy, more productive, and physically healthy because when I get into the routine of like what was happening like at the beginning of quarantine of like I would only get like 4 to 6 hours of sleep every single night. That's not me. Like it starts making me feel physically sick and mentally sick, and like I just it's not good. So for me, I've embraced that. I know it's different for everybody, but I also do worry a bit for you that maybe you're still just a little under what you should be doing just for health reasons.
Sure.
Because I feel like there's a reason doctors always say, they still always say, I think the window's 7 to 9 is what they say for everybody overall. And like a lot of nights you don't even get the 7.
Okay, but that's just my body being like, it's time to wake up. I'm like, cool, time to wake up. Body says so.
But I feel like sometimes you force yourself to stay up later because, yeah, then you end up falling asleep on the couch. So your body is telling you you're tired, but you're like, no, I want to stay up.
I don't do that a lot. And the reason I fall asleep on the couch, like, most recently, as a thing, like this happened like a week or two ago. I was uploading a YouTube video and I had to stay up for that. And I was sitting there like waiting for it to like upload so I can put my phone away and go to bed. But of course, the sleep got to me before the upload. So, like that's the reason that happened.
Like, oh, he snores like a train. So it's really funny if I'm trying to fall asleep and then I hear him all of a sudden. He's just snoring. And I come out and he's just like all hunched up on the couch. And I'm just like, hello? Hello.
And it freaks me out. If you ever get close to me, it's going to be
yeah. Well, that's why I don't really touch you anymore. I learned that the hard way because you freaked out. So I just like, I keep saying like, babe, like over and over until you finally wake up.
This is real life.
Yeah. And he'll wake up and he's all confused. He's like, whoa, what dimension am I in?
I hate you.
But yeah, so it is. I feel like it's difficult, and I feel like we did have a harder time with this. I know, right? She's just being weird. We had a harder time with this in the beginning of when we moved in. I think it was harder because we were also just going through hard times, so it kind of was another thing to pile on.
Well, yeah, it's the first time you actually living with someone and then having to deal with the changes.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, especially because, we're not roommates. We do share a bed. So it was like figuring out how does this make most sense? Because for me, I like going to bed with the person at the same time because I feel, like we can get all snuggly wuggly and, kind of wind down the day together, talk a few minutes before going to bed and drift off to sleep and yay.
Yeah.
But that was a point of contention because you hated doing that because you felt like you were now losing out on something and extending something. And so it sounds funny maybe, but like we've come to like compromise of like whether it's he just doesn't go to bed with me at the same time or like in the mornings, like there's a certain amount of days like maybe we like snuggle in the morning and extend it past what you'd like so that I'm getting something, but you're also not doing it all the time. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting, like what works for one couple doesn't work for the next.
And like I'll say to go back to this girl's question, I would say you'd have to like I realized this we dropped off but the 3 C's, remember those?
Wait,
we haven't said those in forever.
Wait. I know one's compromise.
Mm-hmm.
Communication.
Yep.
Ooh.
Let me know when you want to phone a friend.
I want to phone a friend.
Consent.
Ah.
And
that's very important, ladies and gentlemen.
What I would say this, like I would mention this because during quarantine, like we mentioned this on the past episode, like personally, like we're going through it because like our life, as as everyone else's life has gone to like shambles, and you're trying to still work through it. And it's like I would probably talk to your boyfriend and be like, hey, like maybe every bi-weekly, can we like wake up at this time and go out on an adventure or go for a walk or something like that?
Right, like every other weekend.
And then he can always come back and like take a nap or something, like
and I feel like it's almost easier to have some sort of compromise here because you guys are only dealing with the weekends. For us, we were literally talking about like nights and mornings in general, like how we make that work and like the whole week. Like there was a time when like we would try to compromise on like literally certain days of the week at night and all this. Now we're at the point where we just don't go to bed together and it's become just normal and like it's fine. But then
I mean, you're gonna appreciate that whenever kids come because they'll be like, "Hey, they're crying." I'll be like, "Okay."
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to that. He said it here on the podcast. You guys heard it.
I mean, I've always said that. It's like
I know. I'm just saying.
As long as they don't need a nipple.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be the main problem. But you know what? I'll pump. It's fine.
Whatever.
I'll pump and have it ready for you.
But
there you go.
Like,
but no, like, cause even for a while there was like where we came to the compromise of okay, we just won't go to bed together, but every now and then, if I just want to, if I feel like I need that or something, like you would do it, like every once in a while.
Yeah.
So, which is kind of where we are.
Yeah, it's fluid, and I feel like it works for us.
It works now. It was a growing period because I've always been the type of person I just want to go to bed with the person that I'm with,
and I
really felt like
value, no offense.
But I feel like it also came from, to me, that felt quote unquote normal, like that was what you're supposed to do, like in quotes.
Interesting.
Well, not for nothing. That's what you always see in movies and TV and everything else. You always see like they go to bed together and it's all happy-go-lucky.
But that's not how life is.
Yes, I know that. But I'm saying I feel like you're trained to like, yeah, believe that. Which is interesting because that's not really what I saw with my parents. So I don't really understand how that won out over, well, I do understand because, yeah, the movies and stuff are happier. But, no, with them, because my dad would go to bed a lot earlier because he would have to get up at 4 a.m. for work. So, like, he would usually go to bed first.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So it works for me. I've come to the point I don't really care just because I'm trying to just get the sleep I need. So it's fine. The only thing that stinks, for a while, Missy would sleep with me. And now, like, she just wasn't having it anymore. She wants to stay up with you. And so I hate that.
Yeah, she's pretty much going accustomed to like just...
Yeah, because now I can't go to bed with my Missy either. She's now the same way where she's like, nope, you're not forcing me. I'm going to play with him.
That's true.
Like literally she'll be freaking zoned out on the couch, like passed out. But if I bring her in there, then she's crawling all over me and she's like, no, what's daddy doing? I need to see.
Pretty much.
I'm like, wow, okay, all right, favoritism. That's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, just trial and error. See what's gonna work for you guys, because every couple's different. That's the interesting thing. Like, I feel like there's, again, the quote unquote what's supposed to be normal, but like really everybody functions differently. What works for some won't work for others. There's people, I'm sure, that would think we're insane that we don't go to bed together, like, ever.
Well, yeah, and I'm sure there's people that think that going to bed together may not be, like, reasonable. Like, you find people no matter what part of the spectrum. Like, there's no wrong or right thing. It's just what works for your structure. Right. And, yeah, for, like, them... It seems like, you know, she would like him to like be a part of her like morning structure, not all the time, but like, you know, sometime, hey, come out on a walk with me and the dogs or something.
Well, because it sounds like not for nothing, that's something that bonded them too, though.
Yeah, because they seem like an active couple. So,
right.
Yeah.
So now that that's kind of taken away, it stings more because that's something we enjoyed doing together. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, I'm with it. It comes down to the communication and trying to work things through.
Don't be surprised if it doesn't work on the first try. Like, if you need to like keep trying new things and keep talking about it until it clicks.
It's ever changing. It's what I've learned in our 5 years, going on 5 years and 6 months, right? Coming up in
June.
Yeah. It's like, like even like things we've done, you know, 6 months ago, a year ago, like it's different because it's like it's based on the current time. So if we have to change something, it's like we talk about it and figure it out.
And your lifestyle, if it changes, if your work hours change and like all that kind of stuff, that also plays a part. Yeah. Yeah, because like for me, when, you know, back in the day when I could do weddings, if I had to get up at 3 a.m, there's no way I'm staying up intentionally until midnight. That just doesn't make sense. So it's like, hey, at least I'm with someone that's not like, oh, you know, no, like, don't leave me. Yeah. Don't go to bed. Because there's that too. Like there's all different dynamics.
Yeah. Oh man, I say this every time we have like episodes where it's actually like useful news stuff and all that. I'm happy for this episode once again. But watch next week. It's gonna be like Rona stuff.
No, no, we're on a bit of a kick.
All right. With that being said, guys, we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. I hope everyone is excited, but also being safe with these reopenings happening in different parts of the states that are in the country.
PSA, just because things are slowly reopening does not mean the pandemic is gone.
Yeah, still wear a mask, still social distance.
Do your thing. Definitely support small businesses. We need you more than ever, but be smart and be safe and be compliant. Like, if you go in a business and they tell you have to wear a mask, please don't start a scene. Please don't come back and shoot them. Like, there's been crazy things happening, like, just because of that. When it's like, you have to realize, like, for example, when I open, I'm going to be required for that. Like, there's just things as small businesses, we don't have a choice either. Like, to operate, we need to be able to, like, do this stuff and be compliant or they can shut us down. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's not that we want to force you to either.
Well, and also, in the states that are reopening, there are starting to be slowly, cases where, like, people are catching the virus. So it's like, you also just want to be safe
Which
for
is
yourself.
going to happen. I mean, it's expected.
Yeah, so you just want to be safe for yourself to avoid that and, avoid your family catching it.
That too, and also not for nothing. Because please remember, wearing a mask protects other people, not you. So, like, if you don't wear one, you're basically just saying you don't care if I get sick. And if I'm the small business owner, I have to be well for all my other clients or customers.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, think about that. Like,
what happened to All Lives Matter?
I'm saying. I sent him that meme the other day. It's true. The people who were touting that got real quiet when it came to wearing masks. Man.
Oh, that's another topic.
That's another topic for another time.
On that note, guys, we gave you a long episode.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. As always, I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely wife,
Lauren.
And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Peace out.